Okay, we're going to move on to Ventura. Some of the stuff to talk about Ventura.
Yeah, let's get on to Mac stuff.
And I'm going to show some stuff on screen here.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
And give me just a second because I got to kind of get ready to get it set
That's right.
up.
You can edit this bit out.
Probably.
So have we got to describe this to the people who are listening and going,
yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Well, one of the big changes in Ventura, there's a couple of new apps, and if you're a iPhone or iPad user, this will look very familiar to it. This is the weather app.
And very good weather app it is too on the iPhone. I've tried it now. I hadn't before, and I like it.
It is. And the cool thing about this app is as you look at this, left-hand side, you've got all of your locations, which in iOS and iPadOS, you have to kind of go to a different screen in order to see that.
Scroll across,
And because, of course, your Mac's display is so much bigger than anything you're going to get in iPadOS or iOS, you can see all of the information that's available. Because, I mean, this is a gussied up iOS app is what this is.
Yes, yeah. Well, but we knew that. We knew that was going to start happening. Yeah.
It really, really is beautiful.
Ooh.
And they give you all of the information that you need all on one screen. And I'm going to switch. Let's go to Daytona. Let's look at Daytona. Daytona Beach, it's 79 degrees, partly cloudy with a high of 80. And you've got your hourly temps there. You've got your 10-day forecast. You've got a radar map. You've got air quality. You've got all of this stuff in this weather app. And when they talked about it, I was kind of like, okay, so what? It's a weather app. But now that it's here and I can see it, I have to say I am impressed.
Okay.
Now
I like the rain radar as well on it. That's really cool.
Yeah, precipitation right there.
Sorry, precipitation, not rain.
One of the other apps that they've thrown in is
this is funny.
Not quite as impressive.
No, it's not.
And this is the clock app.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be the clock.
Now, and it's not that it's bad. It's not that it doesn't give you all of the information that you may want. I've got a number of presets here if you're watching on YouTube. Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, Boise, Idaho, because reasons, and London. So at a glance, Gaz, I can tell exactly what time it is in your time zone.
Good, because I think tomorrow we're actually into a new back to GMT, and we're dropping
back to GMT from BST.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll update for you tomorrow.
But there's also, you have an alarm. You see, I don't have any alarms.
No alarms. Yeah.
You've got a stopwatch, and why you would set a stopwatch on your computer, I have no idea.
Actually, I do. That would be really useful. Well, okay. So now,
wait, hold on. Let's see how long it takes him to tell us it.
These videos that I've been doing, have got a very strict timeline. And when I'm doing the script, I like to have time points. So actually, that might be useful for me to do the very last video that I've got to do out of the 22 or 3 that I've already done. So it would have been useful. That's the only use
it took you 24.09 seconds to give us that information.
Yeah,
and of course,
you would not have been able to do that unless it had that stopwatch.
Exactly. And there's a timer. Now, a timer I can understand. I can understand having a timer. The stopwatch one kind of threw me.
Yeah, but you know what are you going to do? They'd have been lambasted if they hadn't put the stopwatch on there.
That's true. That's true. There's also live captions, which are in beta for FaceTime, so I haven't tried that yet. Have you tried live text yet? Which is something that originally started on the Mac and, in iOS and moved on to iPadOS and is now into macOS.
I haven't.
And I got to say, I have tried this.
Mm-hmm.
And it works really, really well. I went into an Amazon page that had a T-shirt on it that had text in an image on the T-shirt. And I was able to copy that text and move it off onto my desktop, though I could have put it in Pages or wherever. So that works really, really well. And I was kind of surprised.
Let me see if I can find an image with text on it. Because the thing is, I don't take pictures of text that often, I must admit. Only when I need to record something. And, you know, funnily enough, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
I know, it's getting late for you. I'm sorry.
I can't find. There's one. There's one. Right. Okay. Live text. How do I use live text then? Tell me. How do I use live text? Oh, my word. Oh, let me go into notes. Let's see if this works. And paste. And it's just copied the picture.
Yeah, it can be a little flaky.
Okay, copy. If I copy that, it's just and it just. Oh no, it's got that. It can't spell my name. It's got, yeah, but that's fine because it is a. Oh no, I'd give them that. Actually, they've done well. Oh, that's impressive. That's impressive.
But yeah, and you can just drag it. If you highlight the text, you can just drag it right to your desktop.
Okay,
and it'll put a little text file on your desktop.
Ooh. I like it. That is impressive. I do like that.
Isn't that kind of cool?
That's kind of cool.
All right. Next thing is system preferences has now been changed to system settings. And if you have used an iPad or an iPhone, you will see that all of this looks very, very, very familiar. And honestly, this is an improvement. I look at this as being a big improvement over what was there previously, mostly because as you looked at the wall of icons that you would get in the system preferences, it wasn't always easy to kind of figure out which one you wanted. So you'd have to click on one, have it come up. Oh, that's not the one I want. Go back, see the wall again, click on one. And with this, you can just select any of them that you want and see if that's what you needed.
Yeah, it is a better filter and folder option, definitely. But equally, do you know what I tend to do though, Guy? I did in the old one, which sometimes worked really well. And so far I've used it in this one. It has worked really well, and that's search. I've used search on this as well. Now, one thing that I've actually had, I don't know if you remember, but I used to have a problem with my watch not opening my Mac, and I couldn't work out why. It just didn't work. So I went on, when Ventura uploaded, I thought, great. And I tried it, and it worked the first time. And it also works if you want to unlock an app for the first time. It gives you, on my watch, I could double click and it allows me to get into it.
Nice.
And it's really great. However, now it tells me, the Wi-Fi signal is not strong enough for your watch to open this Mac. What is that going on about? So now,
because you're right there in front of the Mac.
So my watch again doesn't work in opening my Mac.
Okay. Next on the list is passkeys. This is an on-device method to replace passwords. These aren't stored online, though.
It's not particularly new, though, is it? They've been rolling this out a little bit more and more.
But according to Apple, this means that they can't be hacked. It uses Face ID and Touch ID for verification and syncs through iCloud, which is online. So to say they're not stored online doesn't quite ring true to me. And so far, only works with Safari. And I guess that's not really a big surprise.
No.
iCloud Photo Library, which now lets users easily give access to your iPhotos library, your photos library.
We had many years ago, we had a bit of a conversation because this is a biggie for me, but it still doesn't work quite how I'd like it to work. I'd like Mrs. G and Mr. G, that's me, to be able to share our library. And shared folders just didn't do it. It just didn't work right. It just, there was
flaky as hell.
Yeah, it's not flaky, but you had to be, Mrs. G just wants it to work. She doesn't want to have to move things. She doesn't want to have to things automatically doubling up. And so what I don't want to do though is have a shared folder from my photos to hers, because I've got lots of shots of, which I use to do like the picture on the back of the wall here behind me, if you're watching the video. And basically I've got 20,000. Well, she doesn't want suddenly 20,000 to scroll through these. With 20,000, actually, I've got 40,000. What am I talking about? But it may work, this process, if she has a shared folder with me, because then all of her pictures can come in and I can put them into the process of making sure they get onto the Apple TV, because I've got all of that automated on my screen, and then we can see them all together. Because that's one thing that we've always complained about. She says, I never see your photos, you never see my photos. So this may be easier for both of us to see the photos on the Apple TV. She's still not going to get all of mine, but boy, she doesn't want all of mine having
no, probably not. No. Also, and I don't have this in the notes, it's the search feature for photos is supposed to be much better now. And
yes, I have heard. I
haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, no.
But in talking about the shared photo library,
I'm just gonna tell you, confirm. Yeah, actually, 46,695 photos, 1,872 videos. She doesn't.
So
want
just
all
a couple.
She doesn't want all of them.
Yeah, just a few.
I mean, I know that you can choose. People can say, yeah, but you can choose. But that's the point. I just want it all shared. Yeah. That's the point.
Does anyone expect Gaz to go through 48 to 49,000 photos and videos and go, okay, share this one, this one, this one, this one? It's like, no.
It can advise for you. It can advise for you, but we'll see. Anyway, it'll be easier for me to do it for her to share to me, and then we can do it that way. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that's going to work for us. So more on that in future shows, hopefully.
Yeah, as long as we remember about it. But about the shared photo library, this allows people that you select to add, edit, share, and delete. And
can I just delete. Say, yeah, we'll get back to that delete bit in a minute, but you can share up to 5 people.
Yes. Now, I'm not crazy, Gaz, about the delete feature.
I think you're panicking too much. I've heard quite a bit. I think you're panicking too much, because I think actually that if somebody else deletes one of the photos that you've got shared with them, you still get quite a big notification as to whether you really want that deleted or whether you want to keep it in your library. I don't think it's quite as draconian as you perhaps think it is.
Maybe, but it makes me nervous. Now this is related. This is related to something you were talking about in the snippets. Messages lets users edit recently created messages, which is fine.
Oh, sorry, I've jumped forward.
Mark current messages as unread so that you can return easily to them later. Now, it also lets you share files across messages and collaborate, including editing, which is a big change from how messages works before. And this seems to be part of how Apple is trying to create an all-encompassing kind of suite of applications that will also allow you to use things that are more popular than their applications. So if you're in an office environment and you're using, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of those documents, well, you should be able to share those in messages and be able, I'm guessing, as long as you also have those same applications,
yes,
to edit and all the rest of that, which is something that Microsoft 365, MS3 or Office 365 has allowed for years and years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, share, play video content. Mail search is supposed to be much better. Also, schedule when you want an email to send, and I have never had to do that before, but I guess, hooray, you can do that now.
Well, and I've had occasion to want to do it. It's never worried me that I couldn't, but I have had occasion that I'd like to do it. So that may become useful. We'll have to wait and see.
Okay. Also, you can schedule when you want an email to send, and it will remind you of missing attachments in case you forgot to add it in an email message.
As long as you mention
most other mail programs have done for a long time.
Yeah. As long as you mention for all of these that there's an attachment.
Yes. Hand off your FaceTime calls to other devices to or from your Mac, which is kind of cool. Now, this next one, continuity camera. Now, you're using continuity camera right now.
Now I'm pointing at it.
Right. Yeah. And to give you kind of an idea, of how well this can work and how it's going to look as compared to a high-end camera. I'm using a Sony, I don't know how high-end you would consider it, a Sony A5100 mirrorless DSLR with an f1.4 lens at whatever the 18 to 24 millimeters. Now I'm going to turn on my iPhone 13's camera.
I could do the same here. I might have to move, but I could do the same. So anybody who's watching, obviously on YouTube, will see the difference that you're about to show. Oh, get you! You've got both videos up at the same time.
Actually, let me see if I can solo just my two cameras.
Oh, guys being twicky guy.
No, it won't let me do it.
No.
Okay, well, but to kind of give you a contrast, here is my Sony DSLR, which is like a $400 to $600 camera with a $300 to $500.
It's not a DSLR camera. It's a mirrorless camera. Yeah.
With a $300 to $500 low f-stop lens, which can be very, very expensive. This next one is my iPhone 13, which also looks pretty darn good. And you'll notice I've got the background blur, just like I do with this. And that's because in your settings for continuity, if you go up to your menu bar, there's what looks like two little slider switches. And if you select that and you go to video effects, you can select the camera. Come on, bring it back here. You can select the camera that you want to do this with.
This is a guy's tip.
Yeah. And you'll see the applications that you're using this camera on. In this case, it's Google Chrome because we're doing this in StreamYard. You can turn on center stage. Here's center stage.
Yeah, moves with you.
And it kind of moves around with you. I'm going to turn that back off because I actually find it annoying. Portrait mode, which gives you a blur effect. You see the blur effect is now gone. I'm going to turn it back on because I think it actually works really, really well. And the last thing I'm going to turn on here, I haven't tried because I've got studio lights in here that I use. I'm going to turn on studio light, which is the third effect that it has, and see what difference that makes. You'll notice when I turn that on, if you're looking at the YouTube video, that it darkened my background behind me. And actually, I think that looks better than
than that
right there.
I've got a cheap set of lights. I've just got the tungsten. Well, it's not a tungsten; it's an LED in the ceiling.
Well, let me bring you in here.
Yeah, because I'm going to show you a big difference now because it is massive, this difference. So, and I've got an LED light over here, which my hand is covering. You can see the shadow over my face. Anyway, I'm going to now change to studio light. You tell me what you think.
Wow, that is huge.
It is, isn't it?
That's a really big difference.
So I'm going to stick with studio light from now on.
Okay. Especially if you're using continuity camera.
Now, I can put portrait on there and blur the background as well, of course. But I think that's got a little bit of blurring around the edge. So that makes me look
I'm going to
that makes me look all mystical. That makes me look all mystical. Ooh. Actually, though, I prefer your mirrorless camera.
Yeah, I just turned off the continuity one.
Yeah.
But the point that that I'm trying to make is I spent a lot of money on this camera and this lens, and also one of those constant batteries that you put in so that you don't have to worry about the battery and, mounting it and all the rest of that. And granted, my iPhone 13 with what I bought it with probably cost more than the camera, but I can't make phone calls on my camera. I can't send text messages on the camera.
You can't send emails.
I can't send email with this camera. But if I want to, as soon as I'm done with what we're doing here today, I can just pop this out of the little stand that I've got it on. Actually, I wish I had I wish this other one would work. Let me try something here.
So I'm not quite sure what Guy is going to be trying, folks who are listening and not watching and thinking I'm bored already. But He's just staring into the.
No, it won't. I'm trying to, because I've got another iPhone down here.
Okay, well, let's not worry about that now, because
I'm not going to worry about it.
People listening aren't so interested. It might be.
But I will as my pick. I'm going to go to Amazon.
Oh, you're gonna have a
live pick here.
A live pick. No, it's not going to be a pick sake.
No. And I'm going to come back here to StreamYard. I love StreamYard. It really, really is such a great program. And I'm going to share the screen and show you what I have and what I'm using to mount this camera to the desk. It's the universal airplane iPhone stand holder, clear look.
Is that
maximize clarity, 360-degree rotation?
But that actually sits on the top of your screen, I assume. So what Guy is showing
No, I have it. It's on my desk. I have a slightly raised desk.
Okay. All right, fine.
That's why I was hoping that the other one was going to work.
Okay. So that would be okay, but you wouldn't be able to put it in front of your screen because obviously it'd block out your screen, but it could possibly go. Would the bracket, so he's got what he's showing is a bracket which like a clamp that holds the iPhone, and it goes up to a pivot which then goes back into a little bracket which then sits vertically down onto and
it spins around, so you can now, move the orientation of the camera.
That's great. But all of my shelves that I'm looking at to my left here, all of the shelves come out horizontally, Guy. So that bracket at the back needs to be able to pivot round so that it can go onto those shelving.
It does.
Okay, cool. That's cool then. How much is that?
$12.
That's pretty good.
And I will put
folks, if you've spent £1,000 on your phone or $1,000 on your phone and you want to trust a $12 bracket, that's fine. Don't blame Guy if it falls off and your phone breaks. Don't blame Guy. It was $12. But, you paid your money and took your
$12. It's a great little stand.
It does look good.
It's got two clamp points. Actually, it's got the clamp point where it attaches to either your monitor or a shelf or what have you, and then of course the second clamp point that goes around your phone. And I've got the iPhone 13, the bigger iPhone 13, and it fits it with room to spare. So if you have a Max, it would work with that as well.
Cool. We'll take that as a pick sake, even though we're not there yet.
Yeah, that's my pick sake. Yes, the last thing I'm going to talk about is Stage Manager, which lets users move.
I don't even know.
I'm not going to try to demo it. I think everyone.
I don't even know how to get into Stage Manager, to be honest with you.
Same kind of thing. You go up to where the two little clampy things are, two little whatever you call those.
Horizontal lines on your menu bar, probably towards the right.
And there's a thing there that says Stage Manager. You turn that on.
That's it. Yeah, I'm not going to do it now either. Yeah,
well, I'll real quick. I'll show that to you.
Well, you don't have to, because I think that's a waste of space.
And that's what it looks like.
Yeah, waste of space.
And the kind of cool thing about it is if I want to add another program to the default that will pop up when I hit it, just drag it out. Oh, it didn't work. It actually didn't work. Okay. Yeah, it was working earlier. I don't know why it's not working now.
Okay,
but we're going to go ahead and stop that.
It's a new operating system. They're going to have foibles.
Yeah. So that's
brilliant. Well done. That's very good.
Oh, you're nodding your head.